Today is a very exciting day because it is the day that the Wales Book of the Year shortlist is announced. Now, I don't have my finger anywhere near enough on the pulse to be able to make any predictions or create a wish list, but I am super excited to see what's on the shortlist. The prize consists of 4 categories. So there's children's literature, there's poetry, there's non-fiction and there's fiction, and they have all 4 of those categories in both Welsh and English language. And the one that I'm most interested in is English language fiction books. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for. They've just released the shortlist for the Welsh language books, and the English language ones will be following shortly. So my plan is to do a wee bit of a live reaction. I'm not expecting to know any of the books or recognise any of them, but I might, who knows. But yeah, I'll film a little reaction so that we can find out together what's been shortlisted, and then I'll probably go away, do a bit of research, find out a bit more about them and tell you all about them. Okay, I've just opened Instagram and there's another reel, so I'm going to go in. Here goes. Okay, poetry first. Ah, cute cover. Nice. Non-fiction next. Lots of nature writing. Fiction! Ah, glass houses! That's so cool! Earthly Creatures, I've seen that. Oh my gosh, Davis! I've read that! Oh, I'm so pleased! And it's going on to the children's books. That's so exciting. I'm so up for reading glass houses. I actually do know a bit about these books. That's so exciting. So Clear by Karis Davis is superb. I read it when it came out in hardback last year, which is probably about this time last year actually. It's a really, really, really wonderful book. And it might have made my top 10 last year. I don't remember, but it's very, very good. Anyway, I'll get it off my shelf and speak to you about it a bit more in a minute. And Glass Houses, I had no idea that that was by a Welsh author. That's so exciting. So that's had quite a lot of hype, I think. And I forget the name of the other one, but I've definitely seen that. So that's so exciting. There's nothing that is completely out of the blue there. One book that I've already read, amazing, and 2 books that I'm really up for reading. That's so exciting. The poetry looks really cool too, don't you think? So maybe, given that I've read one of the shortlist already, I could stretch to a bit of the poetry. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, super exciting. I will be back later with a bit more of a description about what these books are about. Okay. Back with a bit more about the books that have been shortlisted, specifically the English language fiction books. So first up was Glass Houses by Francesca Rees. I have seen this everywhere on Instagram, but hadn't realised that Francesca Rees was a Welsh author. So it's about a woman and a man who live in or grow up together in rural North Wales. She moves away to London to become a big filmmaker. He stays in rural North Wales and becomes a forester or something and cares for her family home, maybe something like that. Anyway, she returns and whatever love they had as young people is potentially rekindled. It looks at class, it looks at second homes, it looks like it spans the politics of, like, they were young in kind of Thatcher's Britain all the way through to modern day. I think it's like a second chance. I hope it's not too romancy. It's not described as a romance novel. iPaper's quote is, "At once a love story and a simmering tale of class, identity and masculinity." I'm intrigued. So I've ordered this one and it's on its way. Next up is Earthly Creatures by Stevie Davis. I ordered this and it came almost straight away, which is very good. This is a historical fiction set in 1941 in Prussia. A young woman is what does it say? 19-year-old Magdalena Arber has been indoctrinated with Nazi beliefs but raised in a dissident Lübeck household. She's conscripted for war service and sent off somewhere else in Prussia to be a teacher. Somewhere down the line the war is turning and she needs to hotfoot it back home. It says Adolf Hitler grudgingly acknowledged women's political hatred is extremely dangerous. Earthly Creatures explores women's resistance to Nazi racism, eugenic theory and misogyny, and the dire personal cost of resisting the terror state. That's super exciting. And then last but not least, Clear by Caris Davis. This is the one that I've read. So this is another historical fiction set in 1843. This is set on a very, very remote north of Orkney Scottish island, so about as far north as you can possibly get and still be part of Scotland. And it was at a time that was known as the clearances, where landowners were clearing people who had been renting and tending the land off in favour of having sheep grazing space there. So this is about a pastor who is a bit down on his luck and so takes a paid job to go to one of these remote islands and kick the person living there off. He is the only person living on this island, and through kind of unfortunate events, as the pastor is travelling to the island, he is shipwrecked. So when these two characters meet, the pastor is like unconscious and the guy who is living on the island carries him back to his house and helps look after him and nurture him back to health. They don't speak the same language, and so there's a lot in here that's really richly about language. It's very, very beautiful. But obviously the pastor is then in a really tricky position because he hasn't started off introducing himself as he'd intended, because obviously he was unconscious and ill and being looked after, but also was still very reliant on the person that he has to deliver some really difficult news to. So it's how those two navigate that relationship, how they communicate together, which is really lovely. Pastor also has a young wife back home somewhere that ends up kind of being embroiled in this to a degree. This book had the most unexpected ending. It really didn't go where I thought it was going to go. It's very short, and if you haven't read this yet, I would really, really highly recommend it. Obviously I haven't read the other two yet, but I know that I can wholeheartedly recommend this one, Clear by Caris Davis, and it's now out in paperback. So yeah, those are the 3 fiction books. I have also ordered a couple of poetry books. I've ordered Portrait of a Young Girl Falling by Katrina Moynet and one of the others, which I forget now, and we'll probably read them in a reading vlog for you, so you get to hear a bit more and what I think of them. I won't be doing that very soon because the winner isn't announced until July, so we've got plenty of time to be reading. If you intend to pick any of these up, if you've read any of these, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you are looking after yourself, and I will see you again in the next video.